Well, good afternoon, lads. It's Thursday. Look at the heck of me. So I had an appointment, so I had to go to that. But anyway, lads, I went to my mum's to have a cup of tea afterwards, and like where I grew up, and I've said it before, I grew up in one of the biggest estates here in Tralee, and at the time it was the most problematic one. But we had the best childhood up there. So when I drove up, I had to call to one of my neighbours for two disco tickets. So I called over to her. Then I came out and I met my friend's mum, Ruth Kelter, absolute legend. And I was blackguarding her. And then went into my mum's, myself and my mum had a cup of tea in the restaurant below us. And we went in and she said, "Oh, look at these pictures." And my mum started pulling out these pictures, and it was of me and my friend, who's Ruth's daughter, Marie Kelter, who's still a great friend of mine. And I started taking screenshots and sending them to Maria. And we just, like, I was laughing on my phone, she was laughing on hers. Lads, there's nothing like the print of a photo. Do you remember years ago, like we'd have films and disposable cameras, and we would go and take pictures? Like, I don't even remember having a camera taking those pictures or anyone taking those pictures. But anyway, they're there and they're floating, and we are in two big pink goonas, lads, with the bow at the back. Yeah, we were like, we should have been really on the top of a teapot, because it was like a tea cozy. That's what we were like. There was no getting ready, lads, as in getting your makeup done, getting your hair done. You done all that yourself. You ironed your hair on the ironing board if you wanted it straight, or else you just tied it up in a ponytail. Like, I was looking at my friend and in the photograph, and her hair, I'd say, was just tied up in a ponytail, and then she'd blue eyeshadow and black eyeliner, pale pink lipstick and a pen stick. She was a fine bird. I was actually weak, and the first thing she commented, she said, "Oh my God, Lisa, the makeup." I said, "Yeah, I know." But like I've said it on here before, how did the hairdressers and the beauticians survive back in the day? Because like we literally went to get our hair trimmed once a year. It wasn't a necessity. We just got our hair trimmed once a year. That was it, and that was only to make it grow. Don't know if that's an old wives' tale or not, but anyway. But yeah, we rocked out. It was the Tech Debs. I'm thinking it was probably 1989. I stand to be corrected. But the two of us anyway went off with two friends, and we had the absolute ball. We were actually mouldy drunk. And lads, we were probably drunk from Linton Village. There was no shots because we didn't have the money for shots. But yeah, like, I'm looking at those pictures. There's one of me actually asleep on a couch and she's sitting alongside me. Do you know, that's when friends were friends, when they stayed with you, lads, till the bitter end. And like, I can remember that Debs like it was yesterday. I can't remember what I'd done today at 12 o'clock. I can't remember what I'd done. But I can remember that ball back in 1989, and it was a pure townie event. And like, you have to remember then, lads, there wasn't online shopping. You couldn't just walk into a shop to buy a Debs dress. So we recirculated our dresses. You know, now I would always got the raw end of the stick because I was so tall. I was so much taller than all of my friends. So their dresses were always like kind of above my ankles when they should have been hitting the floor. But yeah, so I remember Maria's mum made her dress, and I think a friend of mine made my dress, a big pink one, lads, with a bow. Yeah, baby pink, with a pale pan stick lipstick. Fine birds. I'm telling you now, lads, fine birds. But we would have wore those dresses over and over again, because like I remember we had New Year's Eve balls, bartender balls, Debs's, what else had we? Like, there was so much on, and like, yeah, the things were expensive at the time, but as in comparison to now, yeah, they're outlandish now. I've seen a ball that's advertised for €500 a ticket. Are they actually taking the piss for a New Year's Eve ball? €500 a ticket. Like, I think at the time we probably paid £60, which was a lot of money back then. It was a lot of money. But if you had a gang of people going, lads, it was great. And the bartenders' balls were the be-all and end-all. You went out at 6 o'clock. Everybody met in different pubs around the town. And you literally were walking through the town at probably 6 or 7 in the morning. The thing back then was you went to the snackery for your breakfast, and then you came home. Like, it was just amazing. Like, the times that we had were absolutely amazing. And like that, we didn't have a lot of money. But yeah, so that's my little story for today, lads. So yeah, pull out your old Debs pictures and have a look at the hack of you. Because yeah, I just looked and I seen the makeup and I'm like, oh my God. And like, you literally put it into the pad and you done that with your top of your finger. And then you put on the pan stick with your hand. You pulled your eyelid down to put on the black. I've got to go now because the postman's there. But yeah, so that was it, lads, back in the day.